Hello everyone and welcome back to another new album video. We're now on week 38 and this week we're taking a look at In a Silent Way by Miles Davis. First released July 30th, 1969. This is a really interesting album as it only really has two tracks. We'll get to that when we get to the track listing. But those tracks are comprised of various sessions or takes from a recording session. So some of those takes, other notable tracks here are Shh, Peaceful, A Silent Way, and It's About Time. And those takes are like, for example, Shush and Peaceful are part of the first track, In a Silent Way and It's About Time are part of the second track. So it doesn't have like actually like four tracks. It has two tracks that are kind of comprised of various takes from the recording sessions on this album. This is a very interesting album, so we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. I have my notes here. We're going to get to those, and we'll get to like the track listing and the background on this album and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. So like we said, In a Silent Way by Miles Davis, first released July 30th, 1969. The reason I came to this album is I'm no stranger to Miles Davis. I've listened to a handful of Miles Davis albums this year alone. But one thing I've really taken an interest in this past year is ambient music. I listened to maybe like an ambient album like occasionally. Like last year, I think I remember listening to Music for Airports by Brian Eno, kind of a very good just ambient album. This album actually showed up on a list because I was just looking up other ambient albums to listen to, and this one, even though it's a jazz record, showed up on this list of ambient records to try out. Some very good ambient records. So I gave it a listen, and it definitely falls more into the jazz category, but it is a very like almost prototypical ambient record. So that's kind of how I came to know about it or learn about it. I listened to it very recently. Let's see here. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the ambient genre. I've been listening to a ton of music this year, and kind of at the end of the day, not every day of the week, but I'll usually choose an ambient record to listen to kind of wind down, just because it's kind of a lot of them are very like ethereal, don't really have a lot of like traditional kind of song structure to them. A lot of them are just kind of various like instruments playing, sometimes various effects, maybe some slight vocalizations. So it's a very interesting genre, and I think I find it very easy to relax to because you're not really listening to lyrics generally. Generally, a lot of them don't have lyrics at all. And if they do have any kind of vocals, it's just usually like vocal inflections or like breath pattern, like interesting breath patterns, or they are vocalizations, but they're not like necessarily like vocals, like spoken word or anything like that usually. So again, pretty new to the genre overall. But so we got that. The notes here for this, it was recorded in one session in I think in New York on February 18th, 1969. This apparently kind of marked the beginning of Miles Davis's electric period. So I think it was like late 60s to like mid 70s maybe, but where he was using more of like or electronic kind of music. Not electronic in like the traditional kind of like what you might think of electronic music, but various like bits like that are kind of key to this kind of time period. Apparently, when it came out, the album was somewhat controversial because it is a jazz record, but like the way it was recorded was kind of strange. The way it kind of shook a lot of people up as far as like I said, like rock and jazz musicians were kind of very divided on how to feel about this album. Now years later, it's now actually regarded as one of Miles Davis's best albums and best musical works. So it has very good reviews. We'll get to those reviews in just a little bit later. A ton of different musicians on this album, according to my research. Let me actually just bring up the list of session musicians that were on this. The first one that jumped out notably was Herbie Hancock. But the musicians on this are Miles Davis, of course, on the trumpet, Wayne Shorter on the soprano sax, John McLaughlin on the electric guitar. We have here Chick Corea on the electric piano, Herbie Hancock on the electric piano. Joe, probably going to not pronounce his name correctly. Joe Swazanul on the electric piano and the organ. Dave Holland on the double bass, and Tony Williams on the drums. According to my research, basically, like Herbie Hancock was the one that kind of really jumped out at me, just because Herbie Hancock has had a very long and kind of like illustrious like jazz career. I think one of the first albums I covered on this series was actually let me actually just pull my notebook here. Yeah, episode 3, week 3 was Herbie Hancock, the River of the Jody Letters. But so really like Herbie Hancock. I think I listened to some of his other stuff over the year, like Headhunters. I think I listened to, and then Future Shock as well. A lot of people know him from Future Shock with Rocket is off that album. But just a bunch of great musicians on this. Like I said, there's only 2 tracks on the album, so we'll get to that when we get to the track listing. The songs were assembled from, like I mentioned earlier, from various takes during the recording sessions. I think it was like a 3-hour something recording session, and they took the tracks and they assembled them from those recordings. The editing on this is kind of one of the things that was very controversial, where I think the Rolling Stone Album Guide, in an article from 1992, said the editing on this is a quote from that article, said it quote, seemed near heretical by jazz standards. So basically kind of shook the foundation of jazz music, because I think you had like recordings that were like pieced together in a very like different kind of way. Not like, and basically a lot of people are like, traditional jazz music, it was not like that at all. So very different overall. Now we're going to get to the track listing here. So the track listing on this album, again, there is only 2 tracks. The first one is Shh / Peaceful, and that's comprised of 3 parts. So it's comprised of the first take of Shh, Peaceful, and then another take of Shh. So I guess, or shush, I don't really know. But one of the first parts is 6 minutes and 14 seconds. The second part, so the first part of Shush is 6:14. Peaceful is 5 minutes and 42 seconds, and 6 minutes and 20 seconds for the second part of Shh. Coming in at about 18 minutes and 16 seconds. The second track is In a Silent Way / It's About That Time. Again, comprised of 3 different takes. First part is In a Silent Way at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Second part is It's About Time with 11 minutes and 27 seconds. And the third part is In a Silent Way at 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So really only 2 tracks. Let's see here, 18 minutes and 16 seconds for the first part, 19 minutes and 52 seconds for the second part, with an overall length on the album at 38 minutes and 8 seconds. And I think I had one more. Oh yeah, the reviews, the album scores here. Very good reviews overall. It's now kind of, like I said, it came out. It was kind of controversial at the time, but I think now this is regarded as one of his best albums. All Music has it at a 5 out of 5. Encyclopedia of Popular Music has it at a 5 out of 5. A 5 out of 5 from Music Hound Jazz. Penguin Guide to Jazz has it at a 4 out of 4. Pitchfork has it at a 9.5 out of 10. Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 5 out of 5. The Rolling Stone Jazz Record Guide, a separate one publication there, is at a 5 out of 5 as well. Sputnik Music has it at a 5 out of 5. Tom Hole on the web has it at an A, and then Uncut has it at a 4 out of 5. So overall, very good reviews on this album. I definitely will be listening to this one again. Like I've been really interested and have been listening to a lot of ambient music over the last year. And this one, while it's jazzy, you could definitely see how it kind of could be considered an ambient record. So it's a little bit like halfway between jazz and ambient music. It's not full ambient, and it's definitely not full jazz. But just a great album overall. Listen to it on Apple Music. Highly recommend checking this one out, especially if you're into just jazz or ambient music. It's definitely worth a listen. It's not that long. It's like 38 minutes long, so very nice kind of length on that album. But that's going to do it for this video. We'll be back again next week with a whole new album. Again, no idea what that's going to be just yet, but we'll be back with that. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.